Hello, my friends. Hello, and welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin, and welcome to episode 2 of Panteracast. I'm joined as ever by my hetero life mate, Mr. Luke Nash. Luke, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, except for the laptop crapping out. So I'm on my phone. So you're going to get all sorts of fucking weird angles.
Yeah. So we shall carry on regardless. And so this week we are doing album number 2, Projects in the Jungle, from July 27th, 1984. I wasn't even a month old when this came out. So yeah, Projects in the Jungle.
I mean, what title? It's like, what the actual fuck, innit? It's like, what does it mean?
Yeah, I mean, there is a song, but I can't say I've taken that much notice to read the lyrics. But there they are. Look, and
I said you were caning off the fucking Russians, but you've got a lyric book.
I weren't caning the Russians. I was praising the Russians. Oh God, right, that's my channel gone. I just I'm praising them, but
fucking hell. Yeah. Context.
Context.
eBay because you couldn't get them legally. So, the context, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I'm not.
War or bad?
Yeah. No, what I was explaining was I got the first 4 Pantera albums as a set without any cases from eBay, and it was shipped from Russia. So, and it seems that Russia is the place to go if you want to get rare CDs and not pay a fortune for them. Someone somewhere in Russia is just printing them. And
delete all what you just typed. Don't post it.
Yeah, but I think eBay's got a bit. They've clamped down on it lately. But yeah, it's a known secret. So
yeah.
Anyway, so we are Panteracast, and we are doing each Pantera album, one album per week. We're going to be eventually making our way for the whole back catalogue, and we will be touching on a few. When we did Iron Maiden, we did every album. We did every side project and solo album on the way. I think we're going to be a little bit more selective with this because, notably Phil Anselmo.
Yeah. Got a different band every week.
Yeah, he's done more music than we can possibly collect.
Thanks,
so we will get. We'll do the surface and see how far we go. But anyway, so right now we are on week number 2 of our Glamtera phase of the band.
Yeah,
we did Metal Magic last week, and we was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
and
the urban legend is it's a pile of shit, isn't it? But it weren't. So
no, and but as we said, as discussed last week, Pantera themselves are as much to blame for this as anyone else. And if anything, now we've got YouTube and whatnot, everyone's going like, well, what was the fuss about? I listened to this, looking forward to a good laugh, and this isn't actually quite bad.
And actually now stereo.
If most notably the first 3 albums were released separately under a different name, everyone would be banging on about how underrated they are. So we're on week number 2. I love that album. I think it's a really cool album cover. They've got the whole Van Halen thing going on with the band, the audience, and that's cool. I want that'd make a good LP. So, what do you think of first impressions of Projects in the Jungle?
Well, first impressions was you notice the slight subtle changes to the names of our players now. Terry Hayes is now Terence Lee.
Yeah.
Daryl Abbott is now Diamond Daryl.
Yeah.
Rex Rocker went, fuck it, I'm Rex Rocker. And Vince Abbott is now Vinnie Paul.
Well, it's Vincent Paul on this.
I was I was looking at Wikipedia, so it could be wrong.
Vincent Paul.
He's not quite born yet, so right, I stand corrected. But apparently, I looked up the thing that Dave Ling did, rating all the Pantera's albums. He interviewed Terry Glaze, and apparently this is Terry's favourite album of his when he was in the band.
That's cool. I'd like to read that, or read or listen to whatever it is to that interview.
Not a full interview. It's just snippets. So the interview must be there somewhere. But these snippets is inserted in to the rankings. But yeah, it'd be pretty mad interview, I would have thought.
I mean, well, this is a very, I don't think we're going to be. I think it's going to be a relatively short episode, really. I mean, the album's 35 minutes in total, and there isn't an ounce of fat on this album. I mean, the longest song is 4.5 minutes, and that's the last one. It's 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. It just smashes through the album. And like I say, each song, there's no like weird introductions. There's no mess up. Every song just bang, it gets the job done, moves on to the next. And I did say in the last episode, I want to look out for little snippets, little echoes of what's to come. And straight away with this album, I got echoes of Reinventing the Steel.
Oh, did you?
And I was wondering if you noticed it.
No, I didn't. I was more thinking that fuck me, these boys are really into Def Leppard.
Well, it's not the whole album. Right. So I listened to Metal Magic for the week, and then I put this one on, and all of a sudden, let me back up a bit. Let me tell you about the first time I listened to Reinventing the Steel. Back 100 years ago, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. In an ancient land far, far away, there was a thing called a record shop. And in this record shop, you could take a CD or an album, and you could say, "Excuse me, sir, do you mind if I listen to this?" And I go, "Of course, sir. Just give me the record, and I'll put it on for you. Number 2 or number 3, they're the headphones. Put it on and play to your heart's content." So me and my mate was at Lakeside in HMV, and we put on Reinventing the Steel. And we had to like flip a coin over who could listen to it first. And I remember it was my mate Lee Melvin, his name was. And Tilbury boy as well, just like you. And I remember him putting the headphones on, and he went, "Fuck!" and took the things off. And he went, "Put this song back to..." He went, "Put these on now." And he put the thing on and went back to the beginning of Hellbound, because Hellbound just goes bum bum and it just right blows your head. Yeah. And the first time he had it, right, bang, and it just blew his ears. And that's what the opening 2 chords of All Over Tonight do.
Yeah.
It just goes bang bang, and and I was like, that's fucking Hellbound. If he had Floods all the way back then, the solo to Floods, they used that trick then. Definitely. I'm claiming it.
No, I see it. Yeah. Well spotted.
Apart from that, it's nothing like Reinventing the Steel. But yeah.
About as far removed from Hellbound as you can get.
But the trick was there. There was...
No, well spotted, yeah. No, I mean, like you've raised the point. I mean, first influence, it's first impression. It's the production's better. Jerry's learned. The boys have learned. They've sort of moved further along the evolution. They're producing better. It's a more full sound. Metal Magic was clear, and you could hear all the instruments, but there weren't a lot of weight in there in the old traditional sense. But this has got a lot more weight. So everyone sort of learned over the last year of that, twiddling the knobs and all the rest of it, and mucking around with the amps and all that shit.
It just feels more fully formed, doesn't it? It just feels... Just feels like the edges have smoothed over,
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a bummer, really, because the songs ain't there.
Yeah, there aren't as many...
I'm going to kick off an old row that we used to have, but for me, it's like going from Iron Maiden to Killers.
You still haven't accepted that you're wrong, have you? How many times have we seen these songs live?
Look, they're good songs. I ain't not about, but you compare them to the first album, Iron Maiden, crap production, killer songs. In comparison, Metal Magic didn't have killer songs, don't get me wrong, but it had good songs, earworms. Projects in the Jungle, better production, The songs weren't there. It's like they shot their ball on the first album. So that's the comparison. So now you stop brooding, stop sulking. That's what I think. I'm entitled to my opinion. And that's where we're going to go.
Just as you went, I'm entitled to my opinion, your camera went down. Right. I do apologise, listeners. Luke clearly hasn't learned his lesson after all this time. We will be joined by another guest next week. So this will be Luke's last appearance on Panteracast. But we should carry on for the rest of this episode. No, I would agree. There aren't as many earworms as this one, and it's like a reluctant earworm. It's like, oh, actually, this isn't too bad, is it? But there was one that comes later on. I'm like, oh, I like this. There's a bit of a sleaziness to this album. There's a bit of a dirty grit to it that isn't. The first one had like it was all Kiss, and it was a bit bubblegum. Yeah, this one I'm getting more Motley Crue vibes.
Full on Rat. Well, for me, Rat.
I had. There's one song where I'm like, oh, Rat. Oh. Yeah. And like I say, yeah, there's a bit of early Def Leppard in there as well. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, because Pyromania come out the year before, come out in '83, and this song, fuck me, there's so much Pyromania in it, so much Def Leppard. Because obviously they would have listened to Def Leppard when Def Leppard were doing their AC/DC thing, just their bluesy hard rock stuff. But then when Leppard obviously met up with Mutt Lange and really started to become a produced band, the Pyromania sound, the Def Leppard quintessential sound, you can fucking hear it all the way through this. Backing vocals, riffs, just song structure, the fucking lot. It's mental. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I do prefer, I like Pyromania now more than I used to, but for me with Def Leppard, and I know I'm in the minority and I'm not trying to be like edgy or anything, but for me, High and Dry all the way.
Oh, that's a banger of an album, mate. It's like almost like two different bands, isn't it? We say this.
That's what I'm saying with Maiden, with Killers and My Maiden, or even with Lizzie with the first three albums. Sometimes there's a band starts again and keeps the name because it's like. But the distinctive thing is, at that point you had two different guitarists, and the guitarist is just as distinctive as any other member of the band, you know. But yeah, All Over Tonight has got summer vibes all over it, really. When you're talking about,
I mean, it's a fucking, and that stems from the Def Leppard influence, because for me, Def Leppard are a summer band. The band when sun's out and the windows are down in the car and you're cranking up fucking Let's Get Rocked or whatever, you know, two fingering up to all the chavs at the traffic lights. But you know, it's definitely got that in it. They've wore their influences on their sleeve on the first album with Kiss and all the rest of it, and this now it's really like, it's mad that Def Leppard is the standout one, considering it's a more metal album. They're slowly morphing.
So
the riffs and the slowly morphing into the beast that is to come.
Oh yeah, definitely. Out for Blood.
Yeah, I mean, this is straight up Judas Priest, mate. I mean, fucking full on dive bombs on the guitars and Vinnie Paul double kick for the first time. I think I don't recall any double kick on.
I was thinking Motley Crue, to be honest.
Oh, was it? Oh, right. Yeah.
When I say Motley Crue, first two albums, Motley Crue. When we're talking about separate eras of band, I'm talking Motley Crue, Looks That Kill, Shout at the Devil. Nothing that came after.
And then Motley Crue, Bob Rock, wasn't
it? Yeah. That especially that first album. That first album was just filthy. But you play it loudspeaker up against the tree will die. You know. And, But and this, I mean, the one that drives Out for Blood though is Vinny's drums. He's just
full on double kick in it, like, you know. But Terence Lee now, as we should call him, is he's singing on this is on another level, the high notes. And you got that note. I'm gonna jump at the end of the song. He's got that long note he holds on the outro.
Yeah,
fucking hell, it's like, whoa. You know, he was a guy that had pipes, mate. It weren't like he was just there making up numbers. He could fucking sing.
No, this is the thing. It's not like, again, this is another urban myth, isn't it? There's, oh yeah, they had some shit singer, and then Phil came along, and it's like, no, he was, and it's often the case with the original singer. It's not the original singer's bad. It's normally the second singer is better suited to where the band was going.
Yeah.
Bit like, with Paul Di'Anno, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He was never going to be in the band for the long haul because he was never going to sing on Seventh Son, was he? You know,
he weren't in Hello But I Know, mate. It's
well, yeah, but and it goes for, you could say like Metal Church or Exodus, as we was talking about before we started recording. Paul Bailoff, he was an entertainer more than a singer, and when Exodus started maturing, they needed someone who could, someone with some actual pipes, but no, Terry Glaze, if they carried on like this, he would have held his own. It's just, it feels like there was an actual change in direction.
It'd be interesting to hear him singing the power metal material, because
Let's have a look.
Still wasn't quite the Pantera that we know and love now.
No, and it's far from it, actually.
Yeah.
So
interesting to hear Terry actually singing on that.
I'm actually quite familiar with power metal because we covered it once on the Gully and Joe show.
Oh right, yeah.
We had a guest on that selected it. Whenever we had a guest, it was like, no, the guest chooses the album, and he chose power metal. So I did actually cover that one before. But where was I? No, I mean, I think we should do a little follow up and see what Terry did afterwards. See if we can track down any of his other bands, because there were other bands.
Yeah. Oh no, well, we're doing this. We're doing the fucking albums. We're doing the spin-offs. Yeah. Might as well have a look.
86 to 91. He was in a band called Lord Tracy. So
yeah, did Paul Di'Anno in Maiden. It's only fair we do Terry.
Yeah.
So I'm up for that.
Yeah, it's not as if he did a demo, is it? It's 3 albums under his belt.
That's it. Yeah.
So, all right, cool. We might regret it. Who knows? But
yeah.
But then again, we're definitely going to regret some of Phil's stuff. So
yeah, definitely.
Have you heard his new band, by the way? We're going off on one there, but have you heard? He did recently released a video. He's got fucking Misery Index, his drummer on it, and he's just like, mate. Yeah, he's doing it. He's going like full extreme, but this time it's actually worked.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, Scar. He did an EP a few years ago, and it was like, yeah, okay. Neither here nor there really, but it's looking, if this song that he's released is anything to go by, this is going to be a fucking good album.
Yeah.
And the lineup speaks for itself. So we'll see. Right, Out for Blood. What's next? Blue Light Turning Red.
Well, let's just call it Eruption, shall we?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it is Eruption. Yeah,
I'm going to do that, and if I can do it, obviously, I ain't being funny. Eruption is one of those standout tracks, from any fucking band ever. This ain't it, but it's time doing what he wanted to do.
Having a good go at it though.
Oh, yeah. He did. And he struck up a friendship with Eddie Van Halen. Ain't no coincidence they became friends. They became friends because they were shredders. Probably two of the very best to ever do it.
The guitar, Dimebag was buried with.
Yeah, that's the original, isn't it?
So, fucking hell, for him to give that.
Yeah, show that they were, so. But this is
yeah, it is an Eruption, but he's having a good go at Eruption, and
he's emulating his hero, isn't he? So
and he was 18. He was 18. Yeah.
The fuck is all that about?
Yeah. So, right, let's move on then to Like Fire. We're smashing through this.
Rat. This is Rat.
This wasn't the one that made me think of Rat, actually.
Really? Fuck me. The kicks off. It's Rat. And I would argue that Rat heard this or heard Pantera on the first album and went, I want to be like that. Because I think Out of the Cellar was Rat. I'm not killed me if,
Rat had Out of the Cellar was a breakthrough. Sorry, there's been a bit of a
Oh,
lag.
didn't it?
Sorry. Did I interrupt you? Sorry, mate. Go on. Say.
No, go on. Sorry,
I
yeah, I
thought
know.
you
I
were
was just
finished.
No.
There's a fucking right. Stop. You go. Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean this is Rat all up, and I would argue that Rat heard the Metal Magic when they were forming, and went, "I want to be like that." And yeah, Out of the Cellar come out in '84, and I would have thought this was a Rat song if I didn't know any better. So there's an argument to say that all the arguments saying that Pantera ripped off fucking Exalter, you could argue that Rat ripped off Pantera because this
Yeah.
is this is a template of a Rat song, and I fucking love Rat.
Yeah, I mean, if you was in a bar and they were playing like 80s metal and then this just dropped, you would be going, you would argue what Rat album or what.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought this was more Def Leppard myself, but
Yeah.
the argument remains the same. You wouldn't be arguing over what band it is; you'd be arguing what album it was on.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, this is a good. This has got a summer vibe to it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's not something I often get from Pantera, if I'm honest. But
That's it, isn't it?
it's good to hear. So next up, we got some keyboards in Over My Head.
Yeah, that's what the keyboards were. They for me they killed the song. It takes me out of the song rather than adding layers to it. I'm finding
You
myself
think it
listening.
should have been a bit lower in the mix?
Yeah, like probably 0. Because this starts off. This is pretty Maiden-like actually. Dual guitars, Maiden Priest. Obviously the first power ballad on the album, which is obviously became Pantera's fucking template, didn't it? The power ballad. If any metal band did a power ballad, Pantera perfected it.
Yeah, much to it's not something they what's the word? They didn't cash in on it later on.
Oh no,
It's not just they perfected it, they kind of dropped it just as quick.
Yeah, they did. I mean, but
I mean this
the ultimate. Tell me.
This song, I think it wouldn't sound out of place on a Miami Vice soundtrack. That chorus, I'm in over my head. Thought it'd be easy, but it's harder instead. The hook of that melody of that chorus, it's like a soul song. It's like, it's just like 80s. It's just 80. Like I say Miami Vice, but what was the Grand Theft Auto did that Miami game as well, didn't they? Was it called Miami?
Vice City.
Vice City. Yeah, imagine that on getting in a car and then this coming on.
Yeah, I suited it perfectly.
But then again, Terry Glaze, he could write a chorus and hold a melody as well. This is a good song.
Terrence
so now we
Lee.
come. Terrence Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've done side A, but overall, I'm not feeling it. There's the odd bit here and there, the odd riff, the odd the solos are still fucking.
It's like they're trying different stuff, but nothing's actually being nailed.
Yeah, I mean the solos are still stupid, No business being that good.
Right, I've got Projects in the Jungle. I've just got the lyrics up
so far.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to read the lyrics to Projects in the Jungle so we can see what exactly this song's about. I come from the jungle. I'm free from the trade. No one can stop me. I'm panic. I'm brave. I'm the one there that had no shame. No one mock me. I played my game. Can you hear it? Call of the wild. Hey, man, I'm screaming. Driving me wild. Projects in the jungle, so on and so forth. Here to my eyes, I'm bad as hell. Run like a tiger that's playing the bell. I'm hunger. Look at my stare. I'm not a human. I'm a beast in bed. Can you hear it? Yeah, no, these lyrics make no sense. Right. Yeah.
No, the way it started, I can see it going being like a slave to the grind type thing, where
Yeah.
I'm breaking free of the norm. I'm getting out there, so I can see that.
Just 16 a pickup truck.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't be
But
king.
it ain't.
You can't be king of the world if you're slave to the grind. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where they were going with that. I mean, the song it's a bit meh. Got a drum intro, which is a first. Well, not first, but it's more of a drum intro than we're used to. Vinny showing off his chops, and it's
That's one thing I was going to say to you actually. This sounds like a drum machine to me. Now that's not
it's just a weird. I was trying to work out the timing on it, and it's a bit weird, but it's Vinny just doing Vinny.
It's not this song though; it's the album as a whole. It feels was this early what is it?
They've listened to Pyromania. You tell me that because I always thought the Def Leppard drum sound from
there is that 80s drum sound.
Had one arm and had to play with an electric kit.
Yeah,
Pyromania sounded like the drums sounded well overproduced on that, and Rick had both arms, so there was no electronics involved.
Yeah,
it's just that sound. They've gone for that sound.
You're right, fair enough. I mean, look, I'm not saying these drums are so complicated that Vinny couldn't play them. Normally, when you say this sounds like a drum machine, it's like because the drummer couldn't do it. No, we know Vinny was more than capable of playing this, but the sound just sounds.
Yeah, I think
how it does. And I'm not a stickler for sounds, but if I'm sitting there going, this sounds a bit like a drum machine, there must be something.
Yeah, no, I think it's just box before because it's the very Def Leppard, Mutt Lang produced.
Yeah, just think it was the 80s, basically.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right.
Right, right now we're talking Rat with the best song title ever, Heavy Metal Rolls, and it's that that reminds me of Rat.
Yeah.
Although it is kind of Scorpions, Rock You Like a Hurricane as well.
Yes, yeah.
But it's just that it's that fist pumping metal that but yeah, maybe it's a bit of Rat, maybe it's a bit of Scorpions, who cares? This song is good. I love it. It's just, and again, this has got that sleazy 80s.
Yes, it's a banger. And like with the title, to quote Eddie Murphy, Heavy Metal Rules, tell us something we don't know, motherfucker. You know, we all know it rules, but it's Rex carries the song or carries the verses anyway. Nice rumbling bass. He's got a really cool bass sound on this album, by the way. Really nice produced, really nice sound. The chorus riff is the best riff on the album.
Yeah.
The old. Well good.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, like I say, very Scorpions. Well, yeah, Rock You Like a Hurricane. You know, you can say that if you could pick a song that played every time you entered a room, that would be mine.
That's a proper song, isn't it?
Oh, it's just fucking awesome. Yeah.
But it's only this and the opening track so far that have really brought the fire.
Okay.
I would say.
So what do we think of Heartbeat Away?
Only a heartbeat away. Yeah, I mean, more Def Leppard on here. Got a backing vocals, a very Def Leppard. But there's also reminds me of early Queensryche, which is weird because Queensryche only debuted their album in the same year this came out.
So that dan that sort of off time riff, and then kicks in.
Chorus is proper Queensryche, but the sort of the mellow verses with the picked guitar, it's very Queensryche, sort of Fates Warning type. I suppose it was a product of the time, really, because, like I say, all these bands were coming out all at the same time. So they've all got their influences from somewhere.
That backing vocal on this track as well, isn't it? The is that more Queensryche or Def Leppard?
Def Leppard for me. It's the multi-layered. There's about 1 billion voices on there.
It's amazing how many bands we're coming up with
I know.
Of
Crazy, isn't it?
describing a Pantera album.
Fucking mental, isn't it? When you get to a certain point, it's like, who does this sound like? Sounds like Pantera.
Sounds like Pantera, and no one.
Don't
Yeah,
sound like.
yeah,
So they've. It's crazy, isn't it? All these things they're throwing at the wall.
yeah.
They eventually got to a point where they were like, right, we've run out of what do we do? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
You throw the
Or you
exalted shit.
file it all down and burn. You know.
Yeah.
It's like forging of metal. There you go. Yeah, it's like they melted it all down and distilled it and thingy until it's become this thing that's only theirs.
Yeah, they've hardened, they battered the fucking metal with the hammer and they hardened it and all the rest of it until it appears what it is later on. But yeah, like you say, we've mentioned Motley Crue, fucking Rat, Queensryche, Fates Warning. Christ knows what else, you know, Priest, Maiden. It's
Queensryche. Who'd have thought we'd mention Queensryche in the same sentence as Pantera? But yeah, like you say, it's it's been forged into a bit like the band name. What Pantera? Well, what does Pantera even mean? It means that band. It means that sound. When you say Pantera, you think Walk. You think, you know. I was even playing this in the car, and my boy is like, "Yeah, we're a long way from Walk, aren't we?" You know, it's excuse me, and but yeah, it's a unique thing to get a band name that's kind of just it's just a word of its own, but just means your band, Pantera, Cone, like it's spelt with a K, you know. Like, what does it what does it mean? Well, it means that band. You hear it, you just think of them now.
It's like Jonathan Davis famously said. He said, "Corn's a dumb name. It's all about the music."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl went, if I knew the band were going in 25 years' time, I'd have thought of a better name.
Yeah. But yeah, like you say, we're witnessing the birth of a beast, don't we? That comes along once every 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And that's crazy, watching it take shape. Or listening to it take shape, I should say.
And when you are a beast, it just comes across like, you know, there's a special band that just comes along once a generation. And if you're going to become that band, certain things need to be followed. And that is, on your second album, you need a song called Killers. And that's what we've got next.
Yeah. Rack 9, Killers. Yeah, I mean, this is Priest, definitely.
This is Priest through and through. And this is prime Priest, is prime 80s Priest. This is I mean, again, there's that whole debate amongst Priest fans. It's like, you like Priest, 70s Priest or 80s Priest? Answer now, you know. Personally, 80s. But yeah, this is straight off of.
Yeah, it's like that. It goes back like that scene. Have you seen Civil War, the film that came out last year?
Oh, the what kind of American are we're Americans? What kind of American are we?
Yeah. It's that, and he's standing there with a fucking.
I didn't see the film, but I saw the trailer. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
we're Priest fans. You're 70s Priest or 80s Priest. Yeah.
Ready to commit murder.
Yeah. We're Pantera fans. Terry Glaze or Phil Anselmo?
Answer, yeah, that's it. Fucking hell. But no, this is like I say, they love Priest and they're making a Priest song. And Vinny's having a bit of fun near the end as well with the old stop-start riff. He's filling it in with some drum fills and stuff.
Yeah.
He's really starting to stretch.
And you've got the whole digga, 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 and then it just builds up again to a nice jammy hit at the end. Yeah, I mean,
because it's been all dime, isn't it, for the first two albums, but now Vinny's starting to like, no, fuck you. I want some of the limelight. You know, they're starting to.
Well, it's funny because there's a bit of competition between the brothers, and it's that healthy competition where they were always complimenting each other. Rock and roll, in general, is sort of fraught with brothers being at loggerheads and falling out, famously falling out. I mean, like, obviously now in the modern days, you got the thing with the Gallagher brothers or whatever, but the Kinks were known to like break into a fight halfway through a gig. You know, you got the Cavalieras, and
Yeah.
But Vinny and Dime, you know, there was obviously a bit of competition there, but they eventually learned how to gel together. And it's funny because you're saying this was all about Dime, but now Vinny's stepping forward. But Dime only ever played guitar because he couldn't play drums.
Yeah.
So there must have been a mutual respect there because it's like, yeah,
it's
you are shit hot on guitar, but you only played that guitar because you couldn't match me on the drum.
They're very much like, did Eddie and Alex ever fall out? I don't remember any stories about them falling out.
Did who?
Because they were the same, weren't they? Eddie and Alex Van Halen.
Not famously. Not famously, no. But they, you know, towards the end of their career, they literally did like their last 3 albums, each were 10 years apart.
Yeah.
And it couldn't just been, can't blame everything on Sammy and Dave, you know?
No, that's it. But that was because Dime and Vinny, they idolised Eddie and Alex, didn't they? I think I don't know if you read that story. Before every gig, they would fist bump and say Van Halen to each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was their way of saying, like, have a good gig, son. Like Van Halen, you know, and they fist bump or shake hands or whatever, high five.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. So
I can tell you a funny story, sort of similar. You know, Kirk Wine, is it Weinstein? Guy from Crowbar. Kirk.
Yeah.
He did a side project. No, I can't remember. He did do a side project with Jamie Jaster from Hatebreed, Kingdom of Sorrow. I don't know if they were on tour together or if it was Hatebreed and Crowbar on tour together. Either way, Kirk and Jamie were on tour together. And Kirk had fallen asleep backstage, like feet up on a thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, Kirk, you're on in 5, like you're ready to go on stage, sort of thing. Like, Kirk. And he's out, he's snoring and everything. And they've gone, Kirk, like hit him, like, you know, wake up. And he's gone, Saxon.
Fucking Saxon. Legend.
You're on. Oh, right. Okay, cool. And then he just woke up and said, Saxon.
He even dreams about metal, that geezer, doesn't he? Fucking hell. What a legend.
We have made it to the final track, Taking My Life. And this is another. What was we talking about last episode? Go on.
About soundtracks, wasn't it?
Yeah. This is an 80s.
Yeah, I thought this as soon as I heard it.
It's like, think of like an 80s or 90s arcade game where you pick a character and you're just fist fighting all the way through the levels. And then in between levels, it's them riding on motorbikes with a sunset in the background. And then the next level, it's like, right, fight again. Think Streets of Rage with motorbikes. This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's like that.
Song,
oh, yeah, it's Rex's bass again. It's got a really cool sound.
Yeah.
Sort of the undercurrent underneath.
And I think the keyboards work on this song as well.
Yeah, they do.
Because they're just subtle enough. Not
exactly. Yeah, they're not in your face. Yeah. But it's a weird one to end the album, isn't it?
Yeah,
going
but
out on sort of
put it. It's like I said that with album openers. It's like, this is a really weird song to open with. It's like, yeah, but where else would you put it?
Yeah.
And I think
yeah, because I wouldn't want to end the album on Killers. It's not good enough to end.
Maybe, yeah. The closing track is really right. We're going to leave you something a bit different, something a bit.
Yeah.
I think if you are going to experiment, do it on the last track because it's got a great solo though.
Yeah, well,
I mean, if it's a solo, maybe it's just a melody, but I like the way it's just the keyboard's just with that 30 bass riff, and it's got a cool chorus as well. I mean, like I say, Terry Glaze, he could write a chorus. He knew how to write a melody, and yeah, it's just got 80s all over it, you know.
Yeah, big time. Definitely a product of his time.
So
And there we are.
we've reached the end, and yeah, all right, I grant you, you know, it might not have the songs might not have the staying power, but I think as a whole, I think this album works. It's all I can say. Look, this album's fun. The cover says it all. It's just a fun album, you know.
Yeah, going back to the time when metal was fun, when it weren't about fucking what identity, you know, any fucking politics on that like that. It was just metal was fun.
Yeah, it didn't have to be a statement or a thing. It
No,
was, you know,
you play it because it was fun, and we're sorely lacking that now.
yeah, yeah, indeed.
That's why I love Maiden, because Maiden never got into any of that bullshit. They played music because they wanted to play music, because they liked the music they played. They wanted to play it. They might write a political lyric on an album, but the other fucking 12 songs were about dragons
Or war.
Yeah, but they would be one or two, but it was fun.
No, I think I'm not disagreeing with you. I think I'm just gonna what you're saying. I think you're coming from a Maiden were never a political band, but they were always philosophical, and I think politics and philosophy come from a different. So I think political, if a song or a piece of art, whatever you want to call, you know, whatever it is, if it's political, it becomes ingrained in the time.
Yeah.
If you say something philosophical, then it becomes timeless, because what's being said is it applies in any time, really. And you know, when Megadeth or something has got, you know, presidents of the time on their album cover, you know, because he was talking about that particular time, or, you know, you've got certain bands at the moment with t-shirts or album covers, and it's like, yeah, fuck Trump, you know. It's like, yeah, fuck Trump, but in 10 years time Trump's going to be a distant memory, and your album is now forever going to be tied to that time. If what you're trying to say, if you did it in a philosophical way, that will then apply in 20, 30, 50 years time. I think a great lyric is by Jane's Addiction, like as an example of what I'm trying to say, is when they reformed and did they actually managed to do an album out of their like 20 reformations. How you treat the weak is your true nature, Colin. There you go.
Yeah.
Bomb. That applies whenever.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I think, does that make sense? Is what I'm trying to say? I've gone off on one. Sorry.
No, it does make perfect sense.
When Maiden did A Matter of Life and Death, for example, yes, there was war going on at the time, but they didn't just go full on Radiohead and go, fuck you, Bush. You know, they just did a thing. They made it, you know, predominantly about World War One, but it was war in general, a matter of life and death, you know. And obviously there's the old black and white film, A Matter of Life and Death, and, you know, for the greater good of, and, you know, Brighter Than a Thousand Suns. It was all about the nuclear bomb. It was, you know, do an album about war in general, because none of them are good. No one, you know, no one benefits. Well, certainly no one on the ground benefits from it, you know.
No.
And I think the major message of that album is like, yeah, these are always started by politicians, but it's always working class people who it's fuck all to do with. They start it, but it's always us that has to finish it.
You
know. And yeah, so I think that's the staying power with Maiden, is that they were philosophical rather than political. I went right round their houses there. Sorry, but do you agree with what I'm saying, though?
So, yes, mate. Yeah, you made sense.
But yeah, Projects in the Jungle, and this is it. Do you know what? Next up, we've got I Am the Night.
Hang on, what are you rating it? Can't not rate it.
We'll get to that, but I've got to say, I'm going to miss this era. I've quite enjoyed going back in these albums. What am I going to rate this? I'm going to rate a good 7 out of 10 again. Did I rate the last one 7? Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, we both did. I mean,
Again, it's just fun. It's just fun.
yeah, I'm going because it didn't have the songs that the debut did.
Well,
but it's not shit.
No, it's good, solid 80s metal. Little moments of genius.
Yeah.
Little solos, little melodies here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, say Vinny is really starting to, branch out on the drums. Rex's bass is sounding dirty and on places, and I think Terry's really shining as a vocalist. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
And looking forward to seeing where this takes us next. I'm looking forward to seeing how we segue into Cowboys of Hell. Cowboys from Hell, not of Hell. But yeah.
Right.
Is that it then? Are we done?
Yeah, I think
we covered it all.
Yeah.
There's not really much background because this weren't even like a year after the first one. So
really delve into, was there? There weren't like some load of life-changing discoveries made on tour or nothing like that.
No, but I think we can get into a bit of the politics of maybe power metal. I'll be talking about when Terry leaves.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll do that on power metal, won't we? Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, right. That's it then, folks. Thanks for watching. Like I say, we're going to be doing this once a week. We're going to be making our way for the entire catalogue, all the way up until Reinventing the Steel, and then we're going to touch on different post Pantera bands and side projects, whatnot. But yeah, next week we've got I Am the Night, and yeah, that's Panteracast episode 2 in the bag. And in the words of Cilla Black, ta-ra for now.